Hey there, Kaleidoscope Klan. How's everyone doing? It's Mariposa Maát. The rainy season has officially started here, so it's cooling off. So we're very happy about that. But there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. One of which is the Diddy situation. The whole Diddy thing is extremely triggering for me because I went to the same school as P. Diddy, Howard University, and his character is something that, in my circles, in my peer circles, has been praised. And I always thought he was a low life, or the energies in those circles were low life energies. But those entities, because it's associated with money, was always applauded, lauded as being so successful, where it was obvious that he is an agent that has been making sure that so-called black culture was in the gutter, and he succeeded, with his music and his artists. Excuse me. And it's something that now, what I think the main point should be is how we can heal the culture from this extreme violation that was placed on the black community, by promoting these kinds of characters in the music industry. He is a very serious criminal, but the real criminals are the people who put him in that position, right? Because it was very intentional. And basically, we have to go deeper with all of these things. We have to go much deeper. We have to start questioning all of the leadership in all of the different areas in order to get to the crux, of the problem, and to be able to actually solve these kinds of problems. People knew what was going on, it's just now being communicated more to the rest of the world. But people in those circles, they were enjoying the smut, the freak-offs and such. And so we really need to look at why these kinds of people are chosen to be the ones that are promoted in all of the industries, and it's especially serious for black people because not very many black people are able to reach those kinds of heights, are given that kind of power. So when they intentionally choose to give the lowest of the low the highest positions, it really retards the culture and society overall, So another reason why P. Diddy really triggers me is because I see a lot of things that are very similar with my ex-husband in who he is, as far as being really fake, on the outside, really just trying to present as a fun-loving party person, but in reality he's very sinister and demented regarding the kinds of acts that were really going on behind closed doors. It's very striking to me that I think it was in 2022 or 2023 when he was starting to change his name to Love and called himself coming out with the Love album. that's so creepy, because it's such a narcissistic thing to do. It's like he knew that love is something that is like the antithesis of who he really was. So to like really mess with people's minds, to be able to project something positive onto himself, he took the name love. And again, it's very much like my ex, because he took the name soul, when in reality he's soulless. So it's like, you know, by making your name soul, that's supposed to, you know, project into the idea that you have such a powerful soul and that you're so in touch with your soul, when in reality, you know, a demon took his soul a long time ago. It's no longer existent. So we really have to look at how to identify these kinds of characters. Like the children now, unfortunately, need to be educated around, you know, how to avoid being taken advantage of by narcissists. I mean, it's something that young people could have always benefited from, because, you know, let's not even play around. This is nothing new. P. Diddy is just the latest person, but they've always played these kinds of games. And sex was always a bargaining chip in, you know, being able to get to the upper echelon in society, you know. Yeah, being willing to compromise yourself to sell your soul. We know all about selling your soul to the devil. And Diddy was like the devil's assistant, we can say. He was the one who was getting souls. So, what makes it even more sinister is the fact that it's tied to a lot of deaths, you know, allegedly. But there are too many names around P. Diddy that have come up dead, and it's a big question mark. Like his wife, or like, I don't know if she was his wife, the mother of his children, Kim Porter. What happened to Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx said that that was related to P. Diddy. P. Diddy giving him some medication. Next thing you knew, he was in a coma. Britney Murphy died mysteriously. Of course, we know about Tupac and Biggie. And there are more. You know, this is a very serious and sinister reality. To have someone who has so much power that people are afraid to get away from him, because, you know, once you know him, it's like, if I tell you, I have to kill you type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And we can see that kind of mentality trickle down in the Black community overall. And I imagine it, again, these characters have probably always existed. The few that are given power probably have always had the power to take people out and stuff like that, and be able to pull strings with the police or with the court system, where they never, the people who make the accusations. Oh, Prince is another person who died mysteriously, and they've been recently tied his name to P. Diddy. Oh, Twitch was a good friend of P. Diddy, supposedly. You know, Ellen DeGeneres' DJ, mysterious death, definitely foul play. So yeah, it just says a lot about Black culture, the people who are groomed to be at the top, and Howard University is a university that has a lot of groomed leaders, and I was there, and I was very naive politically, so I just kind of stood on my square and remained who I was. But I saw how so many people sold out to be bitches and hoes, to move up. And people who I was cool with the first 2-3 years I was there, in those last years, the relationship shifted because they became dedicated to their sorority fraternities or whatever things that they were connected to. And they were basically in secret societies that, not that the societies were secret, but that they were keeping secrets and feeling like they were separate from other people based off of their loyalties. And then it became this elitism that took over everything. And, P. Diddy was part of that. He was in the in crowd, I'm from Los Angeles. So, he ended up, dealing with a lot of people in Los Angeles that I knew who were working for him, working with him, and all I can say is, burn, baby, burn. I hope that everything comes out. I hope that all of the so-called disgust that people are expressing turns into change. That this isn't just like a reality show for people where it's sensational and they're enjoying the ooh, ah of it and ew. But then when it's over, it'll be, business as usual. Hopefully not. Like I said, everyone needs to look deeper at the entities that hired P. Diddy, that gave him the power. The people that Prince was talking about. Michael Jackson. The industry is a real problem. And it's very dangerous for all of us because they want to promote things that are not good for the children, that are not good for the culture overall. Because what did P. Diddy promote? He promoted disrespect of women. He promoted, misogyny, violence. And he was successful. It really progressed in the past 30 years since he got his power. So if we could just, be very circumspect, because a new cycle is beginning. A cycle, I'm putting on my astrologer hat. Saturn is moving into Aries tomorrow night. Aries is the beginning of the wheel, the natal chart, or the astrological chart. And the last time that Saturn was in Aries was 1996 to 1999. So it left Aries 26 years ago. So that means that we're starting a new 26-year cycle. Well, it might not be exactly 26, but the past 26 years was one cycle. Whatever you were involved in the past 26 years, you should look back to 1996 through 1999 and see what was going on in your life. It was starting a new cycle. And because Saturn is going through its last degrees of Pisces, it's dying off whatever the last cycle represented, and now we're able to start a new cycle. So we should all be evaluating what happened in the past 26 years and consciously start a new cycle with the lessons that we've learned, with a clean slate, with the new lessons that we've learned. That's my goal. And so, we can also do that related to the politics, the music industry, and those things, because it was about that time when P. Diddy was hot, 1996 and 1999, for sure. That's when his music was first coming out. That's when Biggie was out and stuff like that, 1996, around then. I don't know the exact years, but I know it was around that time, because that was when I was graduating from college. So it's a very key time, and it's an opportunity, is what we should look at it as, an opportunity to look back on those years and to correct our perceptions of what we had thought, the things that we thought were okay, and understand now, looking back, how demonic and sick the energies were that were being projected to us. For me, as a young adult, I had some understanding of how the music bothered me as far as the messages. I was never like a party girl as far as liking the energy in those kinds of parties. I love to dance. I am very much a dancer. I enjoy going out and that kind of thing. But when it came to hip-hop parties, the energy of men and women, but I'm talking about men. So, I mean, I can still feel safe next to a half-naked woman who's dancing. But the way that the men acted in the parties was, and the music, as far as the things that they said about women, it felt trashy. So I couldn't really get into it. And so I got really into my idea of spirituality at the time. I joined a society that was based in ancient Egyptian culture. But unfortunately, in 1996, I was proposed to by my ex, and again, he was like P. Diddy. He was pretending to be into spirituality, but he was using his knowledge of spirituality in a negative way for mind control and to do devious things. So I got caught up in that, but but I'm out of it now, and I'm really celebrating the new cycle that's starting in the next couple of days. I'm ready, baby. I'm ready to let go of the past 26 years and start anew. So I hope that that gives all of you some food for thought related to where we are, and also know that, you know, these outer planets, they move really slowly, but it's going to move into Aries, and then it's going to go retrograde in September back into Pisces, and then it's going to go forward again in November, and it's going to end up going back into Aries in 2026, I think in April, but sometime in April, at the beginning of April. So it's going to like dip its toe into Aries, and we can go ahead and begin the vision and begin, you know, some movement in the way of what we want the next cycle to be. And then we're going to have the opportunity to go back and review a little bit before we go forward again and really get the momentum going next year. But I do pray that in this time that we will make the necessary changes in the overall culture related to all of the industries and the politics. You know, the world understands better now that war doesn't benefit us. It only benefits those who are stealing, you know, in the wars and stuff like that. They're destroying to get paid to rebuild and stuff like that. It's really terrible. So I do pray that this will be a positive new start. Do you hear that bell? Yes, the bell has tolled. It's time. It's time for us to begin anew. It's time for us to recognize when the old things are to never return. That Saturn, who is a very serious disciplinarian, who brings limitations, boundaries, and karma, is demanding that we sober up and that we show our maturity in the decisions that we make moving forward. So I pray that each one of you are able to make those decisions, because if we don't make the right decisions, we will pay the price, right? So I pray that each one of you will be able to make the right decisions, will be able to be introspective, and also will take the necessary stances to support the whole in moving forward in the way that we need to. We definitely need all responsible adults to step up and to be counted in where we're moving forward into the future. Okay, so thank you, Kaleidoscope Klan. It's so nice and cool now. I appreciate it. It has been so hot lately. But yes, it's very mild, very nice for introspection. So on that note, this is Mariposa Maát, encouraging you to continue to embody your sacred transformation. And until the next time, peace.